morning, everybody. Gotta get some more coffee. After all, it is a Monday today. The last week before the mountain race, the Breakneck Points Trail Half Marathon, definitely taking some time, enjoying some time, just, less mileage, less trail running altogether. It's definitely something that's added up to feel like some joint soreness and things like that. Again, with the background of having some hamstring issues on the flat ground and regular road running, it was really nice to change gears and go up into the mountains, but I definitely feel the impact of all the downhill and stuff, in my ankles and knees. So just taking some time to ice that up and really make sure it's fully ready to go for this race next weekend on Saturday. Now, what I've got planned for today is I'm gonna do 5 miles or so. Gonna go back to that farm that I visited just a couple weeks ago. There's a lot of grassy trails and some wooded trails out there. Really nice place to go out and just take it easy on the body, get some nice easy mileage in today. And I also want to talk about, just a little bit around carb loading, how I approach it. So I'll talk about that when I sit down to eat. For now, let's go out for a run. Well, we got a lot of flooding in here today. It kind of goes from a higher elevation down to sort of a low-lying area that collects a lot of water, both on like the farm grass and also in these woods here. So really glad I picked my Gore-Tex shoes today. I ended up using some trail shoes since we're on a lot of wet grass and stuff. And we've had rain over the last few days. So just very flooded, but my feet are dry, even with the higher water levels. So I'm very happy about that. Making our way around the turnaround point. Here we go. It smells so good. There's fresh flower smell in the air. All right, that was a really nice run. 5 miles, about 950 per mile, keeping it nice and easy, playing around a little bit with just some rolling hills, not to let myself forget about what it's like to go up and down, but really just keeping the miles easy, about 143 beats per minute for the heart rate. So let me hop inside, wash off, get to work a little bit, and then at lunchtime, I'll talk a little bit about my strategy for the carb loading for this week's coming race and all my marathons and everything like that. Just my strategy, what I like to do. All right, I've got my lunch in front of me, some leftovers from Indian food over the weekend. Fun fact, I actually have somebody in my running club that I believe it's over 25 times in a row that they've run the Boston Marathon. They organize a dinner the night before the Boston Marathon at an Indian food restaurant every single year, or at least in recent years, I see it on like our Facebook group. So, hey, you could really fuel up with anything. Now, is that my fuel for the week? Am I carb loading with Indian food this whole week? No. My strategy for fueling up the week before a race to get the extra carbs in is basically to eat exactly the same as I would any other week of my life. The reason I take this approach is one of the issues that you want to avoid on race day, or that you may be worried about race day, I know I worry about on race day, is digestive issues, right? I want to eat something that I know is not going to upset my stomach throughout the week, and especially not going to upset my stomach the day of the race. My number one way of doing that is to eat all of the food from the restaurants, ordering in from the places, or making food at home that I know I handle well and that I eat all the time. I don't like to stray away from that to try and do something new and quick to get some quick benefit out of my last week of training. All the stuff that I did on the running side, the strength training side, that's what's going to get me through the race itself. The fuel is just going to be an additional component that can tank your race if you end up sort of starving yourself or you don't hydrate well throughout the week. Those are the things that'll be detrimental to your race, but you have to be honest with yourself. You can't have a bad training block, eat the right foods the week before the race, and suddenly you're going to have the best race of your life. That's just not going to happen. Now, what I do on top of eating normally, I usually prep some simple things like pasta, rice, mashed potatoes, those real like carb heavy foods. I'll tend to maybe prep a batch the week before. I'll keep it in the refrigerator, whether it's just some plain pasta or it is some plain rice or some plain mashed potatoes. And I'll try and eat a serving of that extra carb alongside the food I would normally eat with every meal. So let's say I'm going to have this Indian food right now. Maybe in a second I'll go back and I'm going to make a bowl of oatmeal. So that way I can just have a little bit extra carbohydrates in my diet. But ultimately, I'm not really stressing out and straying away from the food I would normally eat. It leads me to a much less stressful day when it comes to race day. I don't think that I've been eating weird foods all week or different foods than I've normally eaten all week. I can treat it like any other weekend. I already know that the sort of stress and excitement and energy on a race morning is going to make me go to the bathroom in general. I don't worry too much about that. I know that is just my pattern. That's the energy and excitement coming out of me on race morning. But at the end of the day, I can trust that my food throughout the week was exactly the same as everything I already knew worked for myself. So that's my strategy. Add about a serving of carbs to the things you would normally eat. If you're just someone who has cereal for breakfast, great. Have cereal, maybe throw in a little bit of oatmeal as like an after breakfast snack if you're in the office or you're working at home. Then at lunch, again, maybe throw in just a serving of rice, maybe throw in a serving of pasta. It's just very simple. It gets me the extra carbs that I need, and I don't have to stress out about everything the race week. It's just more than anything, I want to avoid things that are different, stressful, changes in the environment, changes in my diet. I don't want any of those variables. I just want to keep it simple, and I just want to add a little bit of simple carbohydrates to my diet throughout the week. So that's my strategy. Again, I don't think that food is going to make some amazing result out of your race. Let's be honest, it's about the training you put in before your race. But it can definitely help to have the energy stores that you need for a marathon, for a half marathon, to add some of that extra carbs in as you're, preparing for your final week before the race. Now, the other piece to this that people forget is hydrating. I always have this water bottle or cup with me at all times. I'm constantly drinking water, but especially the week of the race. Constantly be hydrating yourself. Don't let yourself get into, sort of a dehydrated state. You're going to continue to run the week before your race. You're going to continue to live and go to work and run around. Just make sure you're getting that water in. Honestly, that's more important than anything else, is that you're keeping your body hydrated the week before you're going into your race. Those are just some of my little strategies and things to make sure I have enough liquids going in my body. No alcohol at all the race week. Just something that I follow. Most people don't really drink during a training block anyway, because we know that it kind of zaps our energy, takes all the hydration out of our body, makes it really hard to train as a runner. But overall, again, just race week, no alcohol, keep your hydration up, keep doing what you already know and love when it comes to food, and maybe just add in some extra servings of carbohydrates. That's my advice. That's what I've been doing forever and ever as a very normal runner. I think depending on your race speed, right, depending on your range and how good of an athlete we all are, if we're running like sub 230 marathons, we're probably on a pretty strict diet, right? Let's be honest, we're already really eating healthy. We're very focused on our running, long distance running. Sub 3 hours might be a little bit looser, but trying to eat a certain way throughout the whole training block to make sure you have the energy to break that 3 hour mark. So I'm going to enjoy my food here, enjoy my lunch, get back to work. That's all I've got for you today. Hope you enjoyed coming on the run and just hearing how I like to approach race week and getting those extra carbohydrates in. It's all about the mental side for me, not stressing out, not worrying about it. And, at the end of the day, without taking a really serious approach, I ran my best marathon time about 3 hours, 37 minutes, and 37 seconds at about 235 pounds. Just doing what I do every day. I didn't run out of energy. It worked for me, and I'm a bigger guy. kept my hydration and my food going throughout the week, got those extra carbs in, and I did just fine for my PR. So thanks for watching, everybody. Take care, and I hope to see you in the next video.